Hi YouTube, and this is Runa here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a topic that, I don't see a whole hell of a lot about it, I guess. I mean, I've seen some things, but not a lot, but I wanted to put my 2 cents in there. I know, like, everyone talks about the left-hand path and spiritual awakening and how it's hard. And I know I have a video on spiritual awakening and everything, but I wanted to make a video about specifically coping with the stuff that you might find on the left-hand path. This path is really hard. I will be upfront with you. It's actually a really hard path to walk, and it forces you to be very upfront with yourself. It forces you to look at yourself, honestly, look at your life. And that can be very depressing if you are at a very bad point in your life, or a very, very traumatic kind of point with a lot of experiences where you've, had a lot of pain that you've repressed. You will be forced to look at all that. And you might come to, be overwhelmed. I mean, I get that way sometimes. And I'm human. It happens. And everybody does. Just because we are magicians, we are occultists, we are witches, whatever we are, whatever you'd like to call us, black magicians, whatever, spiritualists, we don't stop being human. I don't want you to think that, magic is magic, I guess, so to speak. Magic does not make you immortal in a literal sense, and it does not make you immune to feeling human. Now, different levels of consciousness and different things, different lessons, you'll be at different points in your journey at all times, and you have to go through a lot of shit to get there. And it's a painful process. A sword does not get forged without being stuck into fire and then beat the hell up. Tempering, and you have to draw out the blade and sharpen it and everything else. And if a sword was a person, that sword would be screaming and in a lot of pain, unless there's some kind of really hardcore masochist. There are some people out there like that kind of stuff, but no judgment, but the majority of us will be screaming in that way. And the left-hand path is a very amazing path. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to do and to embark upon. And it is one of the most rewarding things in my experience, definitely. But it does not come without, I don't know if I want to use the word cost to explain this or not. It will make you work. It will make you look at yourself. It's not a forgiving path like your right-hand path stuff is, usually. I mean, hell, it's not really forgiving either in some ways, but it depends on what your definition of forgiving is. It can be very rough. And we spend a lot of time talking about how, like, it's amazing and you gotta be strong and it will make you strong and everything else. But I don't feel like we talk a lot about how it feels going through the trials and going through the fire and actually going to these points where we're so overwhelmed that, there's only one way to go, and that's through, or else you feel that it's done. It's destroyed you and you have nowhere to go. And this path will take you to the brink, and it will take you to the end of yourself, and it will push you to the edge and further. And it can be very harsh and very painful. I don't want you to forget that you're human still. Wherever you are in your path, whatever you're feeling, as long as you have, kept up on yourself and you recognize that there's no spiritual attachments, intrusions, any kind of hexes, curses, whatever the fuck, attachments, or anything that are causing your kinds of, negative feelings to be happening. This isn't something that's a balance issue. Whatever it is, whatever this is yours, kind of thing. It's yours, and I don't want you to feel angry. You're feeling emotions because you're a human person. You're a human being. Emotions are very spiritual in themselves, and expressions of the soul. And it's very important to be upfront and be very honest with yourself when it comes to emotions. And I feel like it can get very easy to get caught up in being strong on this path, being strong all the time. Everyone needs help sometimes. Everyone needs saving sometimes. That's why, a lot of us work alone. A lot of us are lone wolves. But we need to remember that there needs to be a network of some kind, whether it's a spirit network or people. Even the loners need some kind of network. And I would like for us to be a family. I would like for us to be a group of people that understand and practice this wholeheartedly, but can, lift each other up when we're at these points and encourage to keep going and not to give in, because it can be very hard and not a lot of people talk about it, and it can be very lonely. True, people who already have things like mental illness, depression, and PTSD and other things of that nature. This stuff can be especially treacherous to people like that. And I don't want to say that people with mental illness shouldn't practice, because if that's the case, then I shouldn't practice. I do have some things wrong with me myself. I don't think anyone's really exempt these days from that. But, it's a path that will help me to understand myself in all the ways that I need to understand myself. And it will help eventually to get that under control. And it has gotten it under control in a lot of ways. And it will only continue to do that, but that is a painful process. And it's why it's so important to be connected. I'm not talking covens or anything. I'm talking, at least even just have one person that you can talk to, or have a spirit you can talk to. Talk to your demons. They'll listen. Mine listen. They listen to me. I had a venting session 2 days ago with Belial, actually. I was feeling frustrated over something that had happened, and he was the perfect one to talk to about this sort of thing. And it was a good thing that I did. Now, they're not usually to be therapists and everything, but they will listen if you need something. Even they understand that we're still human, especially people that are toward the beginning of their journey. And it's going to be rocky. But even so, it doesn't mean you give up. So if you need to step back from things for a little while, take a breath, recover, detox, take a break, go for a walk, go out in nature, go play a video game, go have a drink or something with some friends, be mundane for a little while, do something. If you need therapy or anything, to get counseling, to talk to someone, don't stop that because you feel like I'm on the left-hand path, I have to be strong, I don't need any of this. If you do, you do. This is part of being upfront with yourself. And I'll level with you and say I struggle with this certain type of thing. I'm not that kind of person. I don't like to ask for help. I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm stubborn. I don't like to ask for help. That's one of my problems. Stubbornness is good and bad. But if you need help, don't hesitate. There's someone out there that will listen. I will listen. I don't like people to feel alone or to feel like they can't speak. I've been there too much, and I try to listen when I can and try to offer some sort of guidance. Trick is with my guidance is that I will be nice, but I will not sugarcoat things. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there even us strong left-hand path people, we are still people. And depending on where you are in your journey, you have different things to deal with than others. And sometimes it would really benefit to have a friend. That's how I feel about it, at least. I also understand it's kind of hard to make friends in this stuff. I've definitely learned that the hard way. It is difficult at times, but the right people will come. The right people will stay. The wrong people will either not come or they will leave. But, yeah, so I just want you to remember that, especially if you're starting out. It can be very overwhelming. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're weak or you're failing at it. Don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you're feeling negatively towards certain things. I mean, change is messy. Transformation is messy. If you remember anything from this video, the whole forged in fire kind of thing, remember that. If a sword could talk, it would be screaming. Change is messy. It takes a lot to get to the point where you can hand it off to a warrior and start cutting heads off and shit. It's a process. It's about the journey, the destination, but the journey is not always a walk in the park, and it happens. It happens, and we need to take a step back. We need to take a break. And don't feel weak for doing that. We all need help sometimes, right? So, that said, if you need help, or reading, or anything, any kind of services, I offer shit, and I can offer an ear, too. So, links in the description. Hit up my Facebook page. Check out ESS too. It's for my partner and I work. And my Tumblr. But best response at this moment would probably get your Facebook page at this point. So